Hello, my friends. How are y'all doing out there today? I hope that you are having a good day. I'm going to be honest with you. Donald Trump is a little bit boring today, and that's probably a good thing. See, I was going to try to follow these things going on with the steel and aluminum tariffs because those are supposed to go into effect tomorrow. And as we know, that's another bonehead move from Donald Trump that's going to be devastating to America's economy. Bought a few working class people off with the promise that Donald Trump was going to pay them $5,000. Yeah, it was super bizarre, and he's probably looking for a way out. And after all, it is Taco Tuesday, my friends. So I was kind of watching that, and no breakthroughs or anything so far. The day's still young, but at the time of recording this video, nothing is going on with that, so I don't get to make fun of that today. We'll save it for another day, my friends. Don't you worry. But I have been looking at a couple articles having to do with the tourism industry in America and how they are bracing for massive job losses, a lot of money lost, just a bunch of very negative things going to happen to the American tourism industry. And if you remember, it was maybe a month or two ago, I had put out a video where I discussed the things that America is good at, because right now we've got a bunch of dipshit Americans that are cheering for jobs where they get to sew Nikes together and you know, sweatshop type of jobs, and they're talking about how manufacturing's going to come back and all these fucking things, right? And then we had, what's his name? Sorry, my brain froze up for a minute. Howard Nutlick on the news talking about how we're all going to put the screws into iPhones, the little tiny screws into iPhones. And then the very next sentence, he talked about how the robots were going to put screws into iPhones. My God, my friends, we didn't even make it through a drug test or orientation before we got shit canned from that job. that went away really fucking quick. But on my list of things that America actually excelled at, things that we should maybe be focusing on instead of worrying about if we can screw together iPhones and sew Nikes together. Tourism and entertainment were things that made my list because we do excel at that. Like it or not, that's a thing we do very well. That could be video games, music, movies, TV shows, any number of things American companies do very well. But when it comes to tourism also, we've got so many tourist destinations in America. We're good at resorts. We're good at casinos. We're good at cruise ships. If we could actually focus on the fucking things we're good at instead of worrying about screws in iPhones, maybe that would be beneficial to the country and to the world, and we could stop starting all these useless fucking trade wars, right? And it turns out that that was actually a bigger industry than I had realized. I'll be honest with you. I was just kind of shooting from the hip on that one and going off my own observations, and it turns out it does make the list of one of the top things that America's actually fucking good at. Well, I got away with one there, my friends. I didn't know what I was talking about. I was just kind of saying it, and it sounded good, and it made sense in my head. And it turns out that tourism is a fucking massive industry in America. And we're expecting some major hits to it, including job losses. I think I already said that. I don't fucking know. And this all started, my friends, when Donald Trump started trying to bully Canada. Now, it's not a thing that actually had crossed my mind that much, that Canadians spend a lot of time and money as American tourists. It's just something I never really thought about. Of course, they're the neighboring country. Why wouldn't they? But it's just nothing I ever really thought about. And then Donald Trump started in with his bullshit about how Canada is going to be the 51st state. You guys remember that? Pissed a lot of people off. They were really upset about it. And rightfully so. That's a sovereign nation, you dumb son of a bitch. Fucking daddy dipshit over here fucking telling other countries they will now be a state in America. Isn't that something? And maybe that's a discussion where we could have, where maybe it would be beneficial to Americans, but Canadians don't get a whole lot of benefit out of this. And I remember Donald Trump giving the list of benefits to Canada. Like, what was it? You can become a 51st state, and you will have the protection of the United States military, and there won't be any tariffs. That was Donald Trump's entire fucking list. And sure, maybe those things are true. We do have a strong military, which also made my list of things America fucking excels at. And I guess he's right. There wouldn't be any tariffs. But if Donald Trump had given you a list of negatives, Canadian friends, it would have been a lot fucking taking longer than the bullshit list he gave you about the benefits. I'll give you a short list. This isn't all inclusive. It's just off the top of my head. But you will get health care that will bankrupt your ass. Yeah, instead of that health care you got where you go to the doctor, you will get health care that will put you into crippling fucking debt. Now, doesn't that sound exciting? On top of that, we will lower your education standards, you know, no child left behind, all that kind of stuff, because we don't want to actually challenge the children and teach the children. We want them to just remember the shit on the test so they can get the fuck out of our classroom. So lower education standards, Canadians. Less worker rights. That'll be fun, right? Because here in America, we fucking bow down to the billionaires and we do what the fuck we're told, or they will yank that minimum wage, low-paying job out from under us any goddamn time they want. So you get lower working standards and less bargaining power and less money. That sounds exciting. Are you in yet, Canada? Because I'm not done. I'm not done. If that hasn't sold you yet, I got more for you. Higher gun violence. Yeah, you get to be like Americans and wonder every day or wonder every school year if this one's going to end in tragedy. So higher gun violence for Canadians. Are you in, my friends? Are you ready? Are we ready to tear down that border and make you into the 51st state? I don't think I sold anyone on that idea, did I? Yeah, I don't want to be here either, my friends. It's a fucking shithole. It really is. Anyways, that's where all of this madness started with the response by Canadians against the tourism industry. And don't worry, there's more other bullshit that caused the tourism industry to go straight to hell, and we'll get to it as we go. But I didn't realize, if I'm being honest with you, that Canada had that much influence over America. And I'm proud of the Canadians. Fucking stand up for yourself. Always, always stand up to bullies. Always stand up to bullies. And it caused the tourism industry to start to get really concerned about what was going on. I guess there's some small border towns near the Canadian border where Canadians will cross frequently and do their shopping there and things like that, and they look like fucking ghost towns now. So Donald Trump, once again, in the interest of millionaires and billionaires, is putting small business owners out of business near these small in these small Canadian border towns, apparently. And then we got into even more into the weeds with Donald Trump's bullshit when ICE just started rounding up and fucking deporting people, right? They just started grabbing people up off the street. It reminds me of the Family Guy episode where at the airport they held up a card with different shades from peachy white skin to brown and to dark brown all the way to black, and then it determined your level of like what a good person you were. Family Guy's kind of fucked like that sometimes, but it was, I mean, it's a funny joke because it's reality, right? And that's how ICE is rounding you up now. If you're too brown on their little card, you might get rounded up at this point. It's a real fucking thing. And I make that observation because we, like America, MAGA, is acting like fucking lunatics right now, going, we need to get all the goddamn illegals out of this country. But then we're importing white South Africans to America. Look, that makes my theory that it's about color of skin very, very strong when we start doing that. Had we not imported the white South Africans, I wouldn't have been able to make that case very effectively. Now, would I? But now that we did that, so we're getting all the brown people out of America, and we're importing more white people into America. South Africans, by the way, and that one white South African, that really rich one, he was a real fucking problem for America. Still is. But that makes my theory very sound. But with all that going on, America got put on these fucking watch lists by other countries, like warnings and watch lists. Do not travel to America. Travel advisories, my friends. America. And I know it's all propaganda, I get it, but the shining beacon of hope, the shining beacon of democracy, only because I couldn't think of another term for shining beacon, so I said it twice. All these things is now being put on watch lists by other countries. Warnings, do not travel to America. You may be rounded up and sent to El Salvador. We have fucked up, my friends. We have severely fucked up. But now we're getting into tourism season, and these companies are starting to say, hey, it's slow. There's no one coming in. There's nothing booked. We're starting to lose money. Employees are already starting to lose jobs. We don't know what the fuck we're going to do. And they're right. They don't know what the fuck they're going to do. Donald Trump is causing job losses yet again. The very same son of a bitch who kept talking about bringing jobs back to America through tariffs, the fucking dummy, we're doing it through tariffs. We're lowering the unemployment rate through tariffs. You know, the same asshole that was getting dock workers fired from their jobs. I don't know what the ports are like right now. I can't imagine they're much better, even at a 30% tariff, because that's still an extremely high tariff. But was getting the port truck drivers fired from their jobs, small business owners going under because they can't fucking keep up with the cost of tariffs anymore. Well, the son of a bitch has struck again, my friends. And by the end of the summer, we could be looking at absolute devastation when it comes to the tourism industry in America. Possibly to the tune of them needing bailouts, like, you know, the big companies, I don't know necessarily all their names, but like MGM, Carnival Cruise Lines, whoever runs all the goddamn casinos all over Vegas and all these things are going to be in a situation where they might actually be looking at bailouts, because how is this fucking sustainable? And the thing that's kind of funny about this, or kind of interesting, I suppose, is this isn't necessarily tariff related. Donald Trump can't take tariffs off and tourism will flock back to America. It's not like the goods that he puts tariffs on, right? This is all has to do with like human rights, with America's standing basically on the world stage, with how we are treating human beings from other countries at this point. We can't just flip this one off. This one's here to stay for a fucking while. I don't see a way to just turn the tourism back on. So we are definitely going to see these massive hits to the tourism industry. Other working class Americans losing their jobs because of Donald Trump's bullshit policies. And this is the shit I've been talking about. You know, when people think of working class, they think of, you know, ditch diggers and welders and even truck drivers like I am. But the working class is so many different fucking industries in this country. And when you start fucking around with other countries, telling them that you're going to take them over and turn them into a 51st state, when you start telling the world that you do not give a fuck about human rights anymore, you crash that shit. Now, I'll give you a little bit of anecdotal evidence. This is just kind of my observations as a truck driver. As you guys know, I'm a truck driver. Travel not all over the country anymore. You want a list of states I run through? I don't know. I'm not really sure. But travel, I used to travel all over the country. Now I run a straight line, basically, from Denver to Maryland. So there's where you'll find me, somewhere on that road, okay? And I've noticed some things, but it is still a little bit early in the vacation season, but this shit normally starts right fucking away. And I have noticed a shocking lack of RVs and campers on America's highways as of right now, my friends. Now, that could change as the summer progresses and I could see something different, but as of right now, it's already June. The kids are out of school. Everybody's ready to go on vacation. I'm not seeing them almost at all. And the few times, I know this is anecdotal, okay? This isn't real proof. This is anecdotal evidence. The only time I see a camper going down the road is when they're being transported. You can tell because a pickup truck's pulling them, and the pickup truck will always have a sign in one of his back windows with a USDOT number on it. He's a transport. They're not out on vacation. He's just moving it to a dealership or something like that in another part of the country. But this is my least favorite time of year, my friends, as a truck driver. I would rather be on an ice-covered mountain throwing chains on my truck than deal with the summer tourism season. It's the worst fucking thing ever. You get, you know, some suburban dad that just bought his family an RV, and now he's clogging up the fuel pumps at the truck stop because now he wants to be Billy Big Rigger because he just got him in a big truck over there. And heaven help you if you try to go to a truck stop near fucking Mount Rushmore this time of year. For a Subway sandwich, it's an hour-long wait, while all these tourist families treat truck stops like an actual tourism spot, whatever the fucking word it is, whatever the word is for it, right? And it's a true thing that happens. All these people that don't really travel much, I guess, are just delighted to treat a truck stop like it's a goddamn museum or something, or a scenic overlook or something like that, and they're all over the goddamn thing. You can't get in, you can't park because they've taken taking up all the truck parking spots with their stupid fucking campers and RVs. I had to wait one time in Arizona 2 hours to get a shower because a family pulled in with a like $250,000 fucking RV that you know damn well had a shower in it. It was a small truck stop with like 4 showers in there, and they all pulled in and they fucking treated the goddamn, they took showers, all separate showers, and they treated the goddamn truck stop like it was the fucking Holiday Inn or something, playing grab ass with each other all down the goddamn hallway, clogging up the showers. I sat there for 2 fucking hours waiting for those assholes to get out of the way, and they had a shower with them the entire time. So I am delighted in my own, for my own sanity, not to see so many RVs and campers out here right now. But when you look at it at an economic level, it's destructive. It's a bad thing, and it's going to be harmful to everyone in the end. So that's just sort of my observations right now. I'm seeing a lot less than what I'm used to. As soon as that weather gets warm and school gets out, these roads are fucking clogged with campers and RVs, and I am not seeing that at all. So with the tourism from other countries dying down. Look, Donald Trump, if you're paying attention, this is how things all work together, all right? The tourism from other countries is dying down, causing job losses in America. Also, you've put absolutely ridiculous fucking tariffs on other countries, causing the price of goods to rise in America by at least 30%. That's the bottom number, my friends. 30% is a massive fucking tariff. And since people aren't able to afford as many things now and all that, they're not able to go spend their money at other local businesses, causing other people to lose their jobs, going on down the line. So even if every Canadian stopped coming to America for tourism, and every other country they stop coming to America, you have put Americans in a position now where they cannot afford to be the tourist. All we can do is go to work at this point because we don't know what you're going to do next. The tariffs for the steel might come off tomorrow. They might go to 100% tomorrow. We don't fucking know. You're unpredictable. Kinda. You're a baby. You're a big baby is what you are. You're a whiny, big, fat baby that when you don't get your way, you take it out on the American people. And that's a shitty thing to do. But all these things work together is the fucking point. So tourism, I think is... because of the point I made earlier where you can't just shut this one off through tariffs, it's the human rights violations that are the big fucking problem here. You cannot just flip the switch and turn tourism back on at this point. My Canadian friends let me know every day, fuck America, and they're not wrong for saying that at this point. And you don't just get Canadians to come back. That switch, you flip it and you don't get to turn it back on there, Donald. So as tourism takes a massive fucking hit, we will see that chain reaction through the rest of the economy as tourism employees lose their jobs. And there will be someone out there in a goofy red hat celebrating this, talking about how well they are doing under Donald Trump. And that person will be lying to us, my friends. Anyways, I got to get back to work. Love you guys. Bye now.